We're back here at the NRA Whittington Center for another segment of our Curator's Corners West. I'm here with Wayne Armacost. He is the director, the executive director, I don't want to demote you, of the NRA Whittington Center. We're here at the Frank Brownell Museum of the Southwest. Wayne, you've got a great facility out here. You've been showing us around. Let's first, before we get to the specific, we're going to look at some guns of the Old West for this segment. You've got some great things in here, but let's talk a little bit about, for people who don't know, tell us about the museum here at the Whittington Center.
Well, the museum is kind of one of the highlights, we think, of your visit to the Whittington Center. And when you walk in, we have our fantastic mural that goes around the top that depicts the history from the early Paleolithic Indian all the way to modern day Whittington Center. And then you start getting into the firearms. You look at the early conquistador firearms. We go around to the Civil War, to the American Revolution. There's guns, and then guns that settled the Old West. And currently we have a display on World War I and World War II. But there's a lot of neat things. It's always changing, and you can always find something new in here.
And it's so cool coming out here because you feel, Wayne, you experience the history as we're getting off here. What is the Santa Fe Trail goes right through here. It's so neat because you're a part of it. Your feet are on the ground where the history happened. So tell us a little, before we get in these specific guns, what was the whole idea and the conception behind starting this museum?
Well, you're right. The Santa Fe Trail goes right through the heart of our property, and it's one of the few places that you can actually still walk the ruts of the Santa Fe Trail. So the idea was, there's a fantastic museum in Fairfax, and if you've never had a chance to go to it, you should really go do that. But we wanted to have something, west that those people that maybe never get to Fairfax could be able to chance to see. And so, we had this dream that we'd love to put this museum together, and Frank Brownell heard about that dream and said, yeah, I want to be a part of that. And he really was the one that made this financially possible for us, and we ran with the idea and built the museum that you see today.
And it opened up in, 2008, right?
Correct.
And then you just reopen it with some new stuff, and it's better than it was before. So tell us, right behind you, sir, are some guns of the West we're going to look at this week, the Old West. Tell us what we got.
Well, behind us are two guns that are really, really neat. Two Colt-Burgess rifles. One's a carbine and one's a rifle. There's only about 6,400 of them ever produced, and we were very, very fortunate to have two of them on display here. A lot of people don't know that Colt made some lever actions. When you think Colt, you think six shooters, you think gunfighters and outlaws. But Colt made a couple lever action rifles, and we're fortunate enough to have two of the 6,400 on display here.
Now, we don't know specific about these rifles. Tell us how these kind of rifles would have played out in the history, how they would have been used, or what they would have done with them.
Okay, you're right. We don't know a lot about the history of these two rifles, but much like the famous Winchesters, they have been used the same way. Lawmen would have used them. Cowboys, cattle ranchers would have used them as a means not only of self-defense and protection, but also to protect the herd, to protect the homestead, whatever.
And I know we're on video here, but you really do have to get out here, Wayne, to get that feeling for that. We're driving up here, and it's just amazing, just the openness in the field. I can imagine these guys riding around with these firearms, like I said, protect themselves, lawmen, cattlemen, just to get out here on the prairie with this stuff. You really feel the history.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the neat places. You kind of feel like you take a step back into time when you come out to the Whittington Center. Like I said, you can go stand on the Santa Fe Trail, and you can almost envision a cowboy by himself riding along, kind of keeping one eye peeled for Indians or outlaws, and you can just sort of feel yourself transported back. And not a whole lot has changed here in 200 years, and hopefully 200 years from now it'll still be the same.
I'm going to say, and that's the beauty of it. So, Wayne Armacost, thank you for another great peek in this special Curator's Corners West inside the Frank Brownell Museum of the Southwest here at the NRA Whittington Center. How can we get more information about the Whittington Center?
Visit our website at nrawc.org and check us out and explore us there.
Wayne, thank you so much for taking time to be here on NRA News.
Thank you, John.